What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the Wallet Monkey channel, where we give you all the credit intel you need to grow your wallet. Today what I want to talk about and cover is two additional AMEX data points that are very nuanced that I don't think a lot of people really know about. And this has come out of our comments section and videos, which I always tell you this is one of the best places to look for additional data points, and case in point today. So let me scoot this over here. I've got two I want to share. Okay, so here's the first one. Cecilia, thank you so much for commenting, by the way. I saw a video like this about one hard inquiry. I went to apply December 21 for a card and was approved for the Hilton card. I thought it might be fun to get others, so I applied for another Hilton card and was approved, and the Rose Gold card, but was denied. I ended up with 2 cards but 3 inquiries. I found out why later on. Amex said that they'll let you get 1 card but then not another for 5 days, and then only 2 cards within 90 days. They said wait 90 days and I'd most likely be approved. She said, I'm gonna go and get the business card next. Now, what I found interesting about this is we literally just were all speculating and trying to help a community member, John, navigate whether or not he should go and get, I think it was the Platinum card, which is the biggest, the Mac Daddy card. And so what we were all debating on is just this, like the distance of time rather, when he got his last card, and will they approve him for another one because he already had quite a few cards with Amex, and all these nuanced details. We're all trying to take the data points and come up with opinions and stuff, and it was very interesting to see because there's a lot of sharp people in the community. We all had slightly a different answer. So anyways, he ended up pulling the trigger because I think it was well over 30 days that he had gotten the last one. He ends up pulling the trigger and getting the card, which was great to see, right? So it also kind of proved that we were speculating on stuff that really didn't matter within this equation. And so it proved that we didn't really have all the data. And so something like this is a great data point to have because it kind of adds to the story. And then so that way when you read other people talking about oh yeah, I was able to get 3 cards, I was able to get 2, I waited, you're able to, again, further consolidate this data, which is what we're all about here. So I think this is a huge insight into one person, yes, but the overall process here, I think you can assume is pretty similar for everybody, right? It's maybe it's not 90 days, but it's at least 30. I'll tell you that on some of these cards because I've now seen this across the boards with multiple within multiple data sets or people, right? So something like this, some variation of this is true, right? So it also proves that I think the most obvious thing it proves is you can't go in there and just bang, 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 14 cards on one day. I don't know why anyone would think that, but I can assure you that some people watching the video that we shot, which was 14 cards, just 1 inquiry, the Amex Hustle Explained, they will be thinking that they can just go get 14 cards on that day. That was not what we were saying. We're saying that over the lifespan of your relationship with Amex is you can get 14 cards. And once you get into the ecosystem, they usually don't hard pull again. But again, this is all based on we need to have billing cycles and statement dates already in the rear view before you start doing this. And this confirms it too. This comment in response to that. I applied for the blue every day. A couple days later, got denied plus hard inquiry. I think I'm gonna wait for the billing cycle. So he got the Hilton honors and then he tried for the blue every day and was denied. So if he was brand new into the ecosystem, this would make total sense because we need to start getting statement data rather, and transactional history with them. Then you start to get this. I actually don't know if I said that in that video, but if I didn't, then I want to clarify that massively right here, right now, is that, I believe I did though, is that if you're brand new into the ecosystem, you gotta give it some statements before you go and do this. And so that's probably why they told her 90 days is because she was brand new, right? Whereas this other scenario, this other example I'm talking about with John is he's already been in the system for years. So yeah, maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 5 days for him, maybe who cares? But it's a shorter period of time because they've already got established data with him. Make sense? So what does it come back to? How much data they've got over how much time it's been established. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Second one, I gotta give a shout out to Boss Bogan, who he contributes quite a bit to the channel, man, and comments. And so this comment, what's weird is it's from a month ago, but it literally just popped up in our comments section today. So I don't know, chalk that up to YouTube. So within Amex, there's 2 things we need to talk about. A blacklist, which is oftentimes permanent and you can't undo it. And then there's a bucket. A bucket is like a, I don't know, slap on the wrist, right? And so Amex buckets are less severe and easier to escape. with charge cards, there's a general rule that your total spending limit, because again, a charge card technically doesn't have a spending limit, but it's not spend unlimited money either. So they have a total spending limit. It's roughly 3 times the biggest monthly statement you were able to pay off in full over the preceding 6-month period. So let me explain this. So if you got the card in January and your highest paid in full statement balance was $2,100 in March, then in June, you would be able to make purchases up to $6,300. So with a structure like this, with a statement like this is not guaranteed. This is kind of like the down the middle in general way to approach this. So yeah, it's not guaranteed that this is exactly how it's going to work out. Obviously, credit score, financial resources, income, etc. come into play, but there's enough data points to support this conclusion. Pro tip, anyone new to the Amex ecosystem should never play with the check your spending power button. Instead, if you're going to use it, enter the amount you actually plan on spending on a charge card and only use it if you are unsure whether or not the purchase will be approved. Again, this is when you would call them as well to let them know that, you would be making this purchase. All this is based on you being newer to the ecosystem as well. Once you've got established history with them, doing these things is much more lenient and is not as big of a deal. This was a comment to the video that we shot where we're talking about Amex Blacklist, Amex Bucket, all of that, right? So now we're continuing the conversation here. So if you were to watch the entire American Express playlist, you would have such a deep insight now. I think we've done 7 or 8 videos. You'd have such a deep insight into the entire game and how to play it with Amex. I don't think you would have to go anywhere else unless you wanted fresh data points of credit scores, limits, etc., right? But again, off of these videos, we tell you how to get in there, 3-4 different ways to get in, and all the nitty-gritty details from bankers like this, and our own personal data points and experiences within our own community and all the data that we're pulling together. So I think this really would give you the best leg up that you could possibly get to get into Amex. What I'd love is comment below if you've got other data points or just to back up what we covered here and you want to share your story. I'd love to hear that. If you just want to help get this in front of more people, click the like button. If you're brand new here and you like this sort of thing, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell and turn it to all so that you don't miss out on future updates. All right, see you again in the next one.